Okay, we are on letter D, Manifest Destiny and the Gold Rush. And we start with rugged individualism. This is a concept that is tested highly on the AP exam. And the idea here is Americans, there's this notion, and this is what I've read, that Americans are individuals, that they can do everything by themselves. But the more you read, you're going to find out that there were communities. Americans were not always isolated. Now, if you were one of the trappers, yeah, you're isolated, but the majority of Americans belong in communities. But this is an image that came out in the AP exam, and this characterizes this idea of rugged individualism. And the people that are moving west, they're after land, they're after gold, they're after silver, they're after a new start. And a lot of historians question, was it over romanticized? Okay, did they exaggerate? And you're going to find out that historians are torn between this question, over this question. In There is going to be a gold rush in California. Gold is going to be found in 1848, and by 1849, word gets out to the whole world that there's gold and silver to be had in California. And because of that rush to go to California and find gold and silver in 1849, that's why they call them the 49ers. Not to be mistaken for the football players. But the 49ers are the people that are going into California in search of gold and silver. Therefore, they're going to be going not only to California, but to the Black Hills, to Nevada, everywhere in search of gold. In other words, they're going into the Western territories, they're going into Indian land. And as soon as the Indians' land gets invaded, they fight back. And of course, this is where the U.S. cavalry is going to come in and fight the Indians. Thousands and thousands of people are going to be going into these areas. They start out as mining camps, and this is where you have a bunch of guys and women and their children who all get together, and a lot of them just live in tents. And what they do is they go look for gold or silver during the day. At night, they go back to the mining camp. And a strike or a boom means that gold has been discovered. Okay. Depending on what you read, these numbers vary, but they in one book, and I think it's your Yop, they talk about how 1/3 of all people that go into California looking for gold are Chinese. But of course, they're going to encounter a lot of prejudices, and I'll talk about that later. They're going to be passing laws that take land or the mines away from the Chinese, not only the Chinese, but from Mexicans too, and that they have to pay a tax because they found gold. And the idea here is the white man wants to take control of the mines of the gold and push these Chinese and Mexicans out of the way. A lot of the Chinese are going to be moving away, and some of them are going to be working on the Transcontinental Railroad. Migration means the thousands of people that are going to be moving into California. Women were in these mining camps, and they cooked, they washed dishes. Others were entertainers, and I'm using that word loosely. Some of them sang and danced, some of them became prostitutes. And there's going to be a demand for wives. You know, just like I talked about Jamestown, where women were greatly outnumbered, it's the same thing during this time period. Also, but this is going to be later on from 1896 to 1899, there's going to be what is known as the Klondike gold rush. And this is in Alaska. In Alaska, you're going to find gold also. And it's going to be along the Yukon River. And again, you're going to have thousands upon thousands that are going to be migrating to Alaska. Right here, this is called placer mining, and this is how we think of when we think of miners looking for gold. A guy with a pan just sifting through the sand and water and eventually finding like gold dust or anything like that. Here you have others, and if you notice, a woman's right alongside the man. She's gonna pick up a shovel, she's gonna cook for them, she's gonna do all sorts of things to help out. It's somebody's wife right here. But women were not spared hard work. Right here, this is more the reality. You're gonna have businesses come in and with hydraulic hoses just spray it into the ground, and as the dirt dissolves, they're hoping it'll expose the gold. Right here you see Chinese doing placer mining. And right here, these are all men. There's no women in here because it was incredibly difficult and a lot of men did not make it. If you notice, they're all in a line in a trail, and this is an actual photo that goes up the mountain. You know, by the time you walk up the mountain, you're incredibly tired. And then you're going to have to sleep in the snow, suffer through blizzards, and then go through the prospect of looking for gold. Right here, this is in Alaska, and if you notice, down here is what today we have Seattle, Washington, and this is a long trek. Some people just took a boat and went around. But if you notice, here is the Yukon River, and this is where the majority of the gold is going to be found. All right, that's it for letter D. Thank you very much.